My AirPods died. Oh. I was like, what? Now you got big headphones on now. Beefy boy, you look like me with this. You got a big beefy headphones. Alright, can you hear me? Yeah, but we're done at this point.
Welcome to Mr. Bobcats podcast. I'm your host, Will.
It's Chris.
And Hornets.
Win!
Let's go, man. First win in about a week since last Saturday against the Pacers. It was an ugly win, but we won. The first time all season we've held a team under 120 points.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy. I mean, they were right there, but that was a crazy game, man. It looked like it was going to start out like the last game in Washington. We were down by 16 in the second quarter, and we're like, we just can't beat the Wizards. We slowly inched our way back. We got down to 6 by halftime. In the third quarter, we got it all the way. We led by 1 at one point in the third quarter, and then we immediately went back down by 9 going into the fourth. We're clawing our way. We finally took the lead with 4 minutes to go after a 17-2 run. But we outscored Washington 36-20 in the fourth quarter. Go over the stats real quick. Brandon Miller had 12 points. Is this even correct? I can't tell anymore. Chris, you know what? You read off the player stats, since this is just so crazy.
All right. So Brandon Miller had 12 points. He was in foul trouble as well with 5 fouls. So he didn't play much of the third and much of the fourth. He actually came in with 5 minutes left in the fourth, I believe it was, which thankfully, he was able to stay in the game, didn't foul out at all. LaMelo Ball, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He hit 4 threes out of the 6 that we made, which is absolutely shocking, but we won the game.
Yeah.
Hayward, that man was all over the place. He was probable to start the game due to a hamstring injury. He played today, played through it, and he got 22 points. He was all over the assists with 8 assists. Then the big man, Mark Williams. Oh, boy. He had 10 offensive rebounds, 18 rebounds in total, with 15 points. Him and Nick Richards just controlled the glass. Crazy. Without them controlling that offensive glass, we wouldn't have been in the game. Just going to say that from now. PJ Washington was probably our offensive-wise not there tonight with 9 points. I mean, he did come in clutch with some good rebounding, some defensive plays, a couple assists, but offense just wasn't there tonight for him. Nick Richards, good production off the bench with 15 points, 6 rebounds. He also was in a bit of foul trouble. So was LaMelo Ball, both of them having 4. But JT Thor with the best plus minus tonight of 17. I felt like he had an okay game tonight. I'm not gonna lie. I hate on him a lot, but he did decent tonight. I'll admit that. Still not sure why Theo Maldon goes on the court, but we'll figure that out one day.
Totally.
Yeah.
So as a team, we shot 100 times to the Washington Wizards 82, and we shot a less percentage. We shot 45%. The Wizards shot 50%. We continued the trend of not hitting threes. Tonight we were 6 of 27. Washington was 14 of 37. Seems like we're going to be the worst three-point shooting team in the league for the rest of the way out. 17 of 27 from the free throw line. We were doing so well from the free throw line to start the beginning of the season. Now that percentage is going down a little bit. We shot 63% tonight. But the rebounds is crazy. We had 23 offensive rebounds as a team. In total, we out-rebounded Washington 58-35. Absolutely dominated the paint. Nick Richards and Mark Williams. I don't think we'll ever see a better duo tandem game than that all season. I mean, that was epic.
Yeah.
Goaltends or whatever.
If you think about it, that's because the Wizards, right? When they take out Daniel Gafford, they lose their entire paint defense. You know, they lose that rebounding, they lose that defensive interior that they have with Daniel Gafford when they put in Danilo Gallinari. You know, so it's like Danilo. I'm sorry, but Danilo Gallinari, like he's slow, so we have to attack that basket. We just have to, you know. And that's another reason why we were getting rebound after rebound after rebound. Can you hear them screaming in the background?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Continuing. But yeah, as soon as they put in Danilo Gallinari, we just have to attack that basket. Um, but yeah, that's another reason why I felt like Williams and Richards were so dominant tonight. Is because you know their paint defense ain't that good whenever Daniel Gafford is out. And we saw it. Mark Williams tried to put up a ball 3 times in a row, got blocked 3 times by Daniel Gafford. You know, it's to be fair, he's trying to force it, but still, that's the paint defense that I was talking about. You know, once they sub him out, or if he gets into foul trouble, they're kind of in the mud in the paint, in my opinion. So
That's definitely the mentality you gotta have when you're such a poor shooting team like us. You have to force things in the paint, and if Danilo Gallinari is playing center, I mean that's almost insulting, right? So you have to attack that. We had 64 points in the paint. Honestly, we've had more points in the paint than that in a game this season. I feel like we could even had more. But they were fouling us a lot. Washington had 22 fouls on us, even though we weren't hitting free throws. But that mentality of I'm just gonna go out with it. I'm gonna be more physical than you. You can't make shots. You gotta muck up the game to win, and that's what we did tonight. So not the most efficient game, not the prettiest game, but man, we played our hardest. I think besides the Indiana game, of course. I mean, we worked our tails off on the glass, defensively in the paint. I mean, we are doing everything out there. Like I said, you hope for more efficiency, but this is just the building block, right? That intensity. I feel like we've been out physicaled a lot of games, starting with that game against Detroit. You saw us. It was like they were making us look weak out there. And tonight we made a statement. We said we are the more physical team. We're gonna show you. You guys don't have the personnel to match up with us. That Nick Richards and Mark Williams combining for over 30 points and 20 rebounds. I wish they would do that every game. I'm not gonna get my hopes up, but that's really all you can ask for. But just to go over this game again real quick, so we're not hitting threes to start, and we go down. We were emphasizing getting off to a hot start because if we dig ourselves a hole, it's really hard for us to come back. And now we do make a comeback sometimes, but it's sort of half-hearted. Sometimes we get back in the game, get someone, we'll take the lead, and then immediately go down by 10. So that was another problem this game.
that's because of Steve's rotation.
Yeah.
Our starters will make the comeback, and then he'll put in Bryce McGowens and Theo Maladon and JT Thor, and it's like we just got the lead back, or we just cut it within like 5, 6, whatever it is, and we go back down 25. It's like like our starters are probably sitting there on the bench, like, dude, we just did all that work, and then you take us off, and this happens. But anyways, the bench did a lot better tonight than what they did on Wednesday night against the Wizards. And it's also pretty cool being 1-0 in the play-in tournament.
Yes. Bench had 26-ish points combined tonight. We got outscored. Well, I mean, we still got outscored bench-wise, but the Washington bench is providing a lot for them. Maybe just against the Hornets. I don't know how they've done against other teams, but a lot better than last night. We didn't get outscored by 60 points, thankfully. And our bench should have some great plus minuses. Besides Bryce McGowan, he was the only net negative player on the floor. But one thing I want to ask is, like, do you think we'll ever have a game where we lead all the way through? Because, like, I don't think we'll ever have a game where we get off to a good start and we maintain it and we lead all the way through. I feel like there's not gonna be one game all season where we maintain the lead all the way through. Do you think so? I honestly don't even think. Maybe like one or two games.
No. The problem is, I think that because our offense, if we cannot hit threes, there's no way we're gonna have leads. There's no way. Like the entire way, nah, bro. If you're talking from tip off to the end of the fourth quarter, ain't gonna happen. Especially because our defense ain't that good either. So it's like it's just not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Well, for us, it seems like you got to pick and choose, right? Maybe one game we're hitting threes, but we're not getting rebounds. This game, we're getting rebounds in the paint. We're not hitting threes. Seems like a pattern that's happening, but I just think, yeah, if we're digging our own hole so often, you can only make a comeback so many times, right? Basketball is a game of runs. We're a young team. We have spurts, but we're very inconsistent, very streaky as a team. But the dugout a win like this, when your shot isn't falling, and to come back from 16 points when your shot isn't falling, is really impressive. And I think like the character of our team really showed tonight. And we do have resiliency a little bit, and I think our guys, when they're locked in and engaged, they can play pretty good basketball. But the fourth quarter specifically, I mean, outscoring them 36-20, seems like LaMelo Ball is Mr. Fourth Quarter. That's like when he really seems to turn things on. Seems like he's not even really trying until the fourth quarter comes. But I mean, the last 3 games, 2 back-to-back 30-point games. He had 25 tonight. We were wondering when he was going to start turning it on. These last 3 games, we've seen it. He's finally learning how to score. I wish he was more physical, driving to the basket. He still seems like he avoids a lot of contact. But, I mean, against Washington, they're playing drop coverage. They got Danilo Gallinari in the paint. I'm hoping he was going to get downhill and score. But he did a great job tonight, putting pressure on the defense, finding open people. But he wasn't even our main assist man. Gordon Hayward had 9 assists, but the whole team did a great job. Theo Mato on 4 assists. JT Thornton had 2 assists. Mark Williams 3, Brandon Miller 2, PJ Washington 4. So everyone was sharing the ball, and we did a great job tonight. 31 total assists as a team. So yeah, great team effort, which you really need to win any game. But that moves us to 3-5. Another thing I want to ask is, Brandon Miller was 5 of 16 tonight. Seems like the magic is wearing off a little bit, but he's still pretty active on defense. So I thought during the stretch with Rozier out, maybe Miller was going to kind of implement himself into the starting lineup and prove that he deserves to be there. Once he's got moved into it, he struggled definitely a little bit. So I want to ask, do you think Brandon Miller at any point in the season is going to come into the starting lineup? Because I figure he's probably going to move to the bench once Rozier comes back. So I think he'll start when Rozier comes back, or you move him back to
No, they'll move him back to the bench. He'll go back to the bench. And if there is at some point where he does like get into that starting 5, I think it would be for Washington. I feel like Washington really hasn't been doing much in our recent games here. He had a good game, I think, against Atlanta. And then since then, it's kind of been a little downhill. That's in my opinion. But yeah, if he were to be put into this starting 5, then I think it should be for Washington. Or if our season starts going downhill and we decide we want to trade Hayward, he could go into that starting lineup in place of Hayward, but who knows?
Well, I think the Hayward scenario is likely, and I'm glad he's been playing well. These
See, that's the problem. That's the problem. Every Hornets player that's on a contract year decide they want to play well. That's my issue. It's like as if they don't try for however many years they're on their contract until the last year. Interesting. And I haven't seen Hayward play through an injury before.
Yeah.
Season. Actually, one time, and it was his shoulder, and that was it. So interesting.
Anyways, yeah, 27 points a night with 4 steals. Way to go, Hayward. Maybe you can get us a first-round pick and another young player or something. I don't know who would want Hayward. Who knows? Maybe the Lakers might need him. They're struggling right now. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe the Wizards.
Yeah. Maybe the Wizards will take him. The Wizards really do surprise me. I mean, obviously, we're not a great defensive team, but when they're playing us, their whole team is contributing. I mean, no one on the team had more than 15 points, but it's like a lot of guys having 15 points. So I think moving forward, maybe if we can make an effort to like force one guy to beat us instead of having everyone beat us, because that's really demoralizing when you see everyone on the opposite team hit a three. So, but it's been like that every game. It seems like some random guy on the other team stepping up. Like the Mavs is like Jalen, whatever his
Always
hard.
makes somebody look good.
Yeah, always making some random person look good when they're not. So moving forward, maybe hone in on some people on defense and force one or two guys to beat us instead of the entire team. Because I mean, these are still NBA players now. I mean, Gallinari can still score. Obviously, we've seen that over the last couple of games. And Kuzma and Poole weren't doing much, and there was Tyus Jones. Those are the three main guys for the Wizards. Especially last game, they didn't do much besides Kuzma. But I mean, this game, Wizards, they still got a lot of great shots. They just weren't hitting as many, so you could say we got lucky. But man, if we could hit some threes, make our free throws, I see a lot of potential for us. But like I said, it's kind of you gotta pick and choose what you want. Do you want rebounding, 8 points this game, or do you want 3-point shooting? It seems like we can't have it all. But the good teams are supposed to have it all. But we'll get there at some point. All right. But
Well, I just want to say, looking ahead to our next matchup this Sunday at 12 o'clock. So it's an early tip-off.
at an
We're
A.
against the New York Knicks. We're currently 4-4.
Hmm.
The percentage or the matchup predictor on that one is 76-23.
Oh
in
my
favor
gosh, really?
of the New York Knicks. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, they got Brunson, Randall. Randall's been struggling though this year. Not gonna lie.
to be fair, he's played better his last two games, and they just beat the Clippers and Spurs by a convincing amount. So they're starting to pick it back up.
They got R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, you know, Josh Hart. I think.
They'll have a bunch of rest too, because last game they played was Wednesday.
Yeah,
So
I mean, they got a good squad there, man. They just got to put the pieces together like us. Except I don't know if we have a good squad.
you know, just I love to say we keep building off our recent successes and put it all together, but the Knicks are a very physical team. They're a great rebounding team.
Yeah.
Robinson in the middle. That'll be a big test for Mark Williams. I think it'll be a big test for him. Another tall, lengthy center that is very physical. That'll be a big test for him after a game like this, but his confidence should be up. Same thing with Nick Richards coming in as a backup center. He should feel like the best backup center in the league. Honestly, after that game, he'll get that title for a night. Why not? But the Knicks also have Hartenstein, who's also a great backup center. So the Knicks have good big rotations. PJ Washington will have to handle Julius Randle. That rhymed. Handle Randle. See if he can handle Randle. Let's see if LaMelo Ball can keep a streak of 25 points or above. Hayward can keep it going. But I'll say now we can't say Knicks win after that. Hornets win, duh. I'm gonna say Hornets win every time.
I'm gonna keep my reverse psychology. Knicks win.
Yes, Chris said Wizards win last time for reverse psychology purposes, and it worked. So Chris might be the Albert Einstein of the show.
Possibly.
But we're in such a good mood. We've been depressed for a week since the Hornets got that late game win. I mean, our bench is getting confidence now. We're just waiting for Rozier to come back. Bridges waiting for a full team. We're just mucking through right now. But 3-5, honestly, better start than what we had last season. I can't complain that much. We're not last in the East. I mean, it could always be worse, right? I mean, we've been pretty low as Hornets fans. So,
hey, Bridges returns in 2 games.
Yep.
2 games left.
We're 11th. We're tied with the Cavs at 3-5. What can you say, man? We're getting there. 3-5.
Nah, 1-0.
Yeah. We got the
Let's get it.
same record as the Lakers.
Yeah.
And we're not the worst team in the league, which we were last year for some time. What did we start last year? Like 1-8 or some bad, wasn't it?
My AirPods died.
Oh. I was like, what? Now you got the big headphones on now. Beefy boys. You look like me with the. You got the big beefy headphones. Bro.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, but we're done at this point.
All right.
Well, on that note, seems like a good time to do our outro. You know, we're so psyched, man. Go Hornets. That's all we gotta say. Anything you gotta say?
No.
No. There we go.
Go Hornets.
Yeah, go Hornets. All right, this is the Mr. Bobcats podcast. I'm your host, Will.
Your host, Chris.
We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.